What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. So today we'd like to talk about an install commission that I completed for a customer on a Starfall Sabers SK. I am not sure which number this is. I believe Nick usually numbers these. However, this is actually the first time that I have seen one of Nick's SKs in person. Something that I always really liked about Nick's SK designs were how unique they are, right? And this is a very, very unique SK. I particularly like the grip on this one, but it has nothing to do with what my opinion is. This is the customer's hilt, right? But I do want to talk about the chassis, and I do want to talk about the install that I decided to go with for this one, right? So with all of that out of the way, we are going to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis really quick. And then we'll come up top, do a quick demo, and then we will be on our way, right? So let's come into Fusion. All right, so here it is. No, there's not an error with this file in Fusion. So this post, I'm going to start with the obvious, right? Because this is very strange looking piece to this chassis, right? Behind the crystal chamber, so this hilt has a secondary crystal chamber. It's actually a marble chamber, right? So I wanted to light this marble chamber a little bit differently, right? So obviously I have a single neopixel underneath the marble that lights the marble itself from below, but behind that marble chamber was like a cavity, or there is a cavity, and I wanted to get some 2020 neopixel strips up there just for some interesting contrasting animations behind the marble. So that is what this like plank is. This just essentially, this is where there are two 2020 neopixel strips, and in front of them I just have a strip of mylar for diffusion, and that's why this looks very, very strange, right? But anyhow, so let's start with the chassis itself. Down below we've got a 28mm speaker. There is a kill switch just underneath the board. This is a Proffie board build. All right, I do have greebly work on both sides of the chassis. I chose to print this one in resin just because of the amount of high detail greebly work, or the greeblies that I used, or I slapped on the side of this. So I just chose to do this one in resin. So this has been printed in resin. Here is our Proffie board. It does kind of tuck up underneath this lip, and then I've got these two little forks that also help to hold the Proffie board in place. Okay. Around each side of the upper part of the chassis are rectangular LEDs. Something that's like becoming quintessential of my installs is just adding some simple rectangular LEDs for accents, right? So there's a blue and a red one up here. And that is it, right? A relatively simple static chassis. This chassis just lives inside the hilt. It is not removable. Obviously, there's our battery tray as well. Okay? Nice and easy. So let's come up top. All right, so here's that chassis. Just want to get a closer look at that. Some of that detail. And then that marble chamber. Okay. I'll put my grip back on here. And we're ready to go. So this crystal came with the install, or came with the hilt. There is just something about this crystal that looks really, really good. So the base of that crystal still has some cloudy, refractions. And I forget what it's called with crystals, where you've got some imperfections in the base of that crystal. So it really, really diffuses that neopixel. It creates a really nice animation. The crystal looks really good. Okay. Oops. So let's put a blade in it. So that same Allen key for the grip will loosen this set screw in the front of the hilt here. There is also a blade plug that was included with the hilt. Very nice blade plug. This is a 1-inch blade setup. So you want to just rest your blade on the pins of that PCB emitter. and then tighten that set screw in the front, and you are good to go. Oops. Long post off, and then you're good to go. So this grip feels really good. Really nice grip. Okay. Let's see what else we got on here. Okay. One more.
Smooth fuzz.
There's that crystal. I really like that crystal. It looks really, really good.
Smooth gray. Smooth. Binary.
Some of these blade styles are set up with color change direct, and others are just going to be custom animations that I put on from my library. Okay.
Don't talk back to your elders, child.
One more.
Crystal focus.
Great feeling, Hilt. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is it. That is the SK, or custom SK rather, from Starfall Sabers. Forgive me, I don't know what the number is of these, unfortunately, because I know that Nick does number them. But this is from Starfall Sabers. Awesome looking hilt, awesome looking grip. Nice custom SK, and it's a great feeling hilt. This one was a breeze to install on as well, and that's always a welcome thing for installers like me. So anyhow, to the customer, thank you for your patience and trusting me with your install. If anyone has any questions about this particular install or anything really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.